Hey guys, Aaron Kurtz here, and we're going to talk about your self-image and just the way you think about yourself, the way you see yourself, and how it impacts your physiology, maybe more than what you think. And so much of our subconscious and our automatic nervous system within ourselves runs off of these elements, these sort of subconscious elements and beliefs about ourselves that are actually more concrete and tangible than maybe we usually think about. But I see so often in health, and in my experience, I want to talk about more things that I've directly experienced, okay, than things that I'm thinking about or projecting or planning. And so this is one area that I have more direct experience in, and that is your self concept, your self image, and just how that influences your life. So, if part of how you see yourself, how you think about yourself is constricted or suppressed, you don't have the bandwidth, you don't have the freedom or the range to really express yourself and to be yourself, um, and to be everything that you really want to be inside. And so my experience is that this is where a lot of symptoms start coming up when certain aspects, and so we're going to get into this, but certain personality types, certain energies become suppressed. They work in on us, they almost get pushed inward. And that is when the body then starts to speak. Their physiology starts to speak. And this is where I don't think we understand enough about our system to get what's actually going on. When you take a car into a car shop, it's really easy for the mechanic to come back and say, hey, you need new brakes. You need your tires rotate. You need to change your tires out. You need to change your oil. It's a very plug and play type system. And we tend to think this way about our body, but our body is such a different organism that we're made up of so many different systems that impact everything. We have a command center brain that takes in information without us even knowing, that is being influenced by stimuli all around us. And there's so much more about that, that it's not a plug and play, pull out, exchange type of system. The very mechanisms of what we run through our mind, um, thoughts and images, impact our biology, right? What you think about is what our subconscious and our mind thinks is actually true. And our physiology responds to that. Everything from your heart rate to your breathing, to your blood pressure, to your blood sugar, to your organ function, to your muscle function. All this is responding to these elements in our mind of fear and threat versus safety. It's a survival mechanism, and it responds based on the thoughts and the images and how we live our life. And so I really feel and believe this and have experienced this to be a really important, huge element in our health and vitality, performance, and everything. And so I think we're missing a lot of this in our life. And I'm going to share with you three distinct personality types. I like to think of them as energetic types or energies within us that each of us have. We're all seemingly more dominant in one type, and I'm going to get to that later. But it's these parts of us that really make up our true self, or how we feel about ourselves, that influence and impact our life from seemingly behind the scenes. And it's when we have judgments about these natural parts of ourself, is when we start to compress and restrict these parts of ourselves, and they turn in on us, and that's when symptoms come up. And so a very common one is for people can be anxiety. And this is what I experienced a lot in my 20s, right? Anxiety, panic attacks, health anxiety, a lot of psychosomatic type of sensations and illness, whatever, which turned into OCD. And for me, this was a direct suppression of a certain energy type, which I'll talk about soon, in my life. And so that I tried everything from praying harder, reading the Bible more, everything that I knew at the time to do didn't work for me. Taking more supplements, trying to do this, that, it just didn't work until I really started operating out of this and really discovering my true self and what it wants and going after that. And we'll get into that right now. And so basically, this concept is based on a book, and this is a theory. Okay, I'll be the first to admit and tell you this is a theory. Okay, it's a theory about our personality types. There's a lot of things out there, Enneagram, blah, 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 which are very complex and more detailed. This is very simple, which I love. And it's based on this an ancestral archetype model. Okay, so in the evolution of our beings as humans, there were three distinct types of people groups. There was the warriors, we know these as the fighters, right? Dominating, conquering, destroying, controlling. There was the settlers, and they were more ones who farmed, and the homesteaders and stayed home. And the nomads were the ones who got out and explored and discovered new lands and were always on the move. Okay, so the theory would go that these are all energies that we have within us today. And they've been carried on through our DNA, and some of us are more dominant in one of those. But we all have all of those within us. Is this true? You got to discover and experience it for yourself. These concepts really helped me, and so that's why I'm sharing this. And it really just leads you to the important points, which are more important than this theory. But the real important thing is, and what the really true aspect is, what you do, how you live your life. And that's what these have done for me, have shown me a way. And so the first one is basically, like I said, the warrior, settler, nomad. The warrior is about power. Okay, so I'm going to start with a P word for each of these. The warrior is about power, the settler is about more people, and the nomad is about pleasure. So for the warrior, it's power, it's control, wanting to be in control. It's goal oriented. It's very meticulous in preparing and calculating before taking action. It's very direct. Myself, I am more warrior dominant. These people want control. They want to be right in what they're doing. The settler is about people. It's concerned about what people think about them. They want the best for other people, and they want to be in good standing between people. They are peacemakers. They are excellent communicators, and they just love being around people. The nomad are your type of people that are in it for the pleasure and having fun, very playful, right? But they're also very spontaneous and curious and improvising. They crave novelty, and they they get bored easily, and so they're very easily on the move. So what tends to happen in our culture, right, is that culture tends to judge and suppress people who are more dominant in the warrior and the nomad than the settler. Why is this? Well, because the warrior and the nomads are a little harder to deal with. That energy is more direct. It's more action. It's more daring. It's more wild. And so our culture, with it, the standards and morals and ethics of culture, religion, tend to judge aspects of those. Whereas a settler tends to be about how we treat other people. And so sometimes the settler conditioning and programming can really suppress the warrior and the nomad. And this is where, if it's a really big suppression of your true self, it causes issues. So for myself, as a true warrior with elements of nomad in there, but really with a desire, kind of a conditioning to really care what other people thought about myself. and really just be a peacemaker, when inside I'm really a warrior and I really want to go after what I want, I did what I thought I should be doing in life. Um, I oriented my career towards what I thought I should be doing and what I thought I should be doing as a good Christian. Should. Now, that approach can work okay for someone who's more of a dominant settler, somewhat, but not for a warrior. And so I had a lot of, just really shutting down my natural desires of what I wanted in my life. I experienced, like I said earlier, anxiety and panic attacks and then OCD. And the volume got so high, and this is the body speaks, right? It whispers, and then it talks, and then it shouts, and then it screams. And this is what drove me to figure out what's going on. Like, why? Like, there's got to be a reason here underneath this. And this made the biggest difference, is me asking myself, what do I want with my life? What do I want to do in my life? Like, finally stripping away these fear beliefs that I had to live by, that I had to do because this is the way I was taught, or this is what everybody does, or this is what you should be. Like, when I can finally let that go and come back to myself and say, what am I really wanting out of life? I'm going to die someday. Can I write this myself? Can I write my story myself? What do I want right now? And really going in and then allowing those desires to come out and then going after them. Like, that made the biggest difference in really just quieting all of that nervous energy that I tried so hard to suppress in other ways, not knowing this was just energy inside me that was being pushed in on myself, and it really just wanted to come in and go out and be expressed and be creative. And so that is my experience with this, is that for a lot of the people in our culture, there's a lot of warrior people that are being suppressed and told to be quiet and to not go after what they want in life. And this is causing a lot of depression, causing a lot of anxiety, causing a lot of lives that are unfulfilled and meaningless. And so my message is to go back inside to yourself and live more empowered life where you are the one in charge. You're not a victim to some belief or some rule imposed on you. You can go out and do what you want to do and live the life you want. So what judgments do you have about the natural desires that lay within yourself? And what would that look like to start allowing those desires to come out and start letting them take up space in your mind and start to create and live the life that you want? How could your life change and be different for you? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and share this video with people you think could benefit from it. Thank you.